It's the time of year where we feed the pigs using the 2-ton drop feeder. So instead of rationing out to the piglets, we're now giving them access to a full bin of feed, and that allows them to finish well. Well, in the past, I've always used my side-by-side, and I've taken 1,000 pounds of feed there, 500 pounds at a time in the back of the side-by-side, lift them up, dump them in. And as I'm getting older, that's a little bit tougher on my back, so I'd like to be a little bit more efficient with that. A tractor with a bucket is one of the best tools you can have on the farm. So take advantage of that, but my bucket is wider than my drop feeder. So I think my bucket is 5 feet and the opening to the drop feeder isn't 5 feet. I think it's about 4, maybe a little bit somewhere in between there. So if I would just dump all my feed into this bucket and drive it over there and dump it, then of course a lot of it's going to hit the ground. So I want to make sure that it goes specifically in the feeder. So I'm going to make a little insert here that I can temporarily pop in that will be a guide. So the feed will stay to one side and I can use it like I'm shrinking the width of my bucket. So we'll throw something together here real quick with that. So what I have is just a scrap piece of OSB that's been in the shop, and I'm going to set it up against the bucket. I've got the bucket laying flat on the ground with the floor of the bucket flat. So there's really only 3 angles I'm trying to get: the floor, the incline, and then the back. The top and the curl don't really matter to me. So I'm just going to trace this out. And this is a little bit proud, so I know my tracing is going to be wider than the inside of the bucket because of the material thickness, the being proud, extra width of the sides. But this will give me a rough start there, and I can pare it down from there. Again, we're not building a clock here, we just need to have a little bit of an insert. So I'm not going to worry about this face. We'll go ahead and cut this out and get a rough shape put together. Okay, after gnawing at it with a saw like a beaver, I have a shape that I'm happy with there. So now I'm just going to put my attachment points on it. That way we can have a divider temporarily put in and take it back out whenever we need to. Okay, so what I've done is just with a couple scrap pieces of wood attached to the side of my shape, I have a couple magnets, actually 3 magnets here. These are rare earth magnets. These are great. You could stick a cat to a car fender with these things. So they really hold tight, and obviously I've got to keep the dirt out of the bucket if I want to get a good clean fit. So if I just want to reduce the size of my bucket down to this spot, maybe 3 feet wide or 3.5 feet wide, I just take it, pick my spot, make sure there's no dirt in the bucket, and drop it in there. So there, that locks in pretty good. So it even has a little bit of a funnel shape to it there. So we'll see how it goes. It may kick out of there. It's holding decently well. So we'll see how it goes. See if it holds enough to hold the feed. We'll give it a shot. That video segment that you just saw, I shot that a couple months ago, and you can see by there at the end where we're using the tractor that it loaded very efficiently. Now, still a lot of input in moving the tractor back and forth. The way my bucket's configured, I can only get 200 pounds of feed in it at a time. And as I'm putting 1,000 pounds in it, that means that's 5 trips back and forth. Now, the old way, if you recall in episode 9, the old way is put it in the side-by-side back up and lift 1,000 pounds and dump it in there. So it's definitely easier on my back using the bucket than it is lifting it by hand, but still a lot of inputs there with the diesel. So what's interesting is a gentleman by the name of Josh Thompson in Texas saw episode 9, and he used the website contact form to contact me and said, hey, you ought to check out these systems that use leaf blowers to blow feed into these feeders. He was using the example of a down in Texas where they have these deer feeders that, of course, that are real high up and have the little spinners that spin corn and stuff out. So they were using this homemade leaf blower configuration with a metal trash can, leaf blower attached, and the feed's put in the trash can, the air blows underneath it, and of course shoots the feed up a PVC pipe and into the feeder. And so I watched that video. I thought that was really interesting. The video even has a little schematic of the components of what's needed. And then, of course, started looking around. There's actually these companies that manufacture that type of concept, where it's a air injected or air process to push feed up into a feeder. In that homemade job, the first thing, and the guy that created the video actually commented, you watch out for static electricity. In my experience in a wood shop with dust collection, where you're drawing sawdust through PVC, if you don't put a grounding system in that, not only could you get a really bad shock if you'd happen to touch that PVC, but it actually could be very dangerous. If there would be a static discharge while that line is full of dust, then you could actually blow your wood shop up. And I think that would be an issue too. The videos that I've seen, everybody's blowing corn into these feeders and not using the powdered feed like our pig feed is ground down, so it's very powdery. So I think the issue would be blowing that into those feeders would cause it just to fly all over the place. My tractor already looks like it's snowed on it anytime I load feed into it that way. And of course the static electricity, that would really ramp up some static electricity moving through PVC. So if it did something like that, A, I'd want to make sure it wouldn't blow feed everywhere and not go in the feeder, and B, I'd have to use probably metal walled pipe or put a grounding system on that, because that would be very, very dangerous. You could have a discharge, and with that fine feed in the air like that, it could blow up and cause some serious issues. But I appreciate Josh sending that, man. That's what I love about this channel. That's what I love about how you guys have engaged with us on YouTube, using comments, using the website, using other things to just comment back and forth and say, hey Troy, what have you ever thought about this? Because again, I can't stress enough, we are not experts. We do the videos on what we do and how we do it, and you may say that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and some of you have actually commented that, and that's fine. If we do something stupid or we do something you think there's a better opportunity out there, please share it with us. And if you share that information with you, I'd be more than happy to give you credit, and we'll talk about it here on the channel. And that's what I like about this community. People bounce ideas back off one another. Again, we're not experts, and we're not doing stuff new. We're just finding what works best for us and other ideas that we've seen online or seen in other examples. Just a quick side note, December 1 is rapidly approaching, and if you're not on our e-newsletter list, then you're not in a drawing for the StormTech jacket we're going to be giving away on December 1. So if you want to know more about that, wonder what in the world I'm talking about, just check out the link up here. Or is it here? It's one of these sides. Check out that link, watch that video, brief video to explain what we're doing, and that's going to be our grand finale prize for the year. So be sure to be entered for that. It's a nice jacket. I'm actually wearing a StormTech right now. It's one of my favorite lines. We're giving one of those away. So be sure to check that out. Well, we ask if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and that way you just get notifications of when we have new videos out. Again, we're releasing videos 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4:30 is our goal, to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, UTC -5 is my understanding. So be sure to check out that. Check out our website, redtoolhouse.com, sign up for our e-newsletter, and you'll know what else is going on the homestead. All right, take care, everybody.